Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to walk you through the sales Battlecard template. This is a tool that we use to train our entire sales team, whether it was 4 sales reps or 20 sales reps. It worked for all different size sales teams, but it taught them how to handle competitive objections and questions. And so my goal today is to walk you through how we came up with this, how the template is designed, and how you can apply it to your business, and hopefully train your team to have some really transformational results. So the first question for you, how do you train your team today to handle competition? I want you to really think about that, because when we first started out, when I joined our B2B SaaS company, we had a 4-person sales team and there was no formal training in place. We did not have a way or an approach to handling competitive questions and objections. And so every rep was handling it differently, and that yielded very different outcomes across the team, which made it hard to measure and improve upon. So think about how you're handling competition today, and that may inform whether this is going to be a good solution for you. So why does training your team matter? I try to write out 2 reasons here for each of the different stakeholders on your team. First, the customers. When you train your team to handle questions about competitors, you provide a consistent buying experience, and that's what we all want. When you go and you interact with a particular brand, you want the experience to be the same if you talk to one rep versus if you talk to another rep. It's the same as if you go into a McDonald's in Boston versus San Francisco. The experience is the same. So you want consistency for customers. The second is a value-added sales process. Most buyers don't want to talk to sales reps because they don't add any value in the sales process. And so when you interact with sales reps, you want them to be educated on the market and alternatives so they can provide the best solution or recommendation to your customers. For sales reps, they'll have more confidence on the sales calls, which will often lead to better results. And for management, you'll have a measurable process in place that you can use as a baseline for coaching. So that's the setup why it matters. Now, the top 3 reasons that I see that most sales battle cards don't work are: 1, there's too much information. It's information overload for the sales reps. And so then if they don't understand it or there's too much info there, they're not applying it effectively. Number 2, it's hard for reps to find. If you've got it buried on some centralized drive or some wiki page, it's not used. And so if it's not used, you're not getting the results. And number 3, they're outdated with inaccurate information. Tech moves pretty quickly. I've been in SaaS for the last 10 years now, and there are lots of new entrants into markets. There are lots of different competitors that you have to be knowledgeable about. We found that it was acceptable to update these sales battle cards on a quarterly basis. So that's my recommendation for you. Now, how is this sales battle card designed? I'll walk you through this. It's designed to have concise talking points about each competitor. So your sales reps don't have to be overwhelmed with a paragraph of information or a Word doc. They're just concise talking points. It's consolidated into one spreadsheet so they can look at the top, say, half a dozen competitors. Those are the ones that you'll come up with most frequently, and they'll all be in one spreadsheet for each column. And then it's editable and centrally managed, either for you or your sales managers or your sales or rev ops team. And so this has 3 tabs. The first is an instructions tab, where I walk you through exactly how to take advantage of the template. The second is a blank template, where the fields have been cleared out so you can input your information as it pertains to the competitors in your market. And then number 3 is an example. It's a populated template that can show you what it would look like if you populated your column and your positioning for your SaaS product versus the competitors to the right. Now, there are 5 pillars to competitive objection handling that are included in the sales battle card template. The first is a company snapshot. You want to give your team an understanding of how big that competitor is: employee size, revenue, amount of capital raised. This gives you a sense of their scale, their ability to handle customer requests. The second is a quick response, often referred to as a quick dismiss. This gives your team the ability to brush off the competition at first request. So if a customer has expressed a requirement or an interest in solving a particular problem, and the competitor we know does not do that very well, this would be a quick response to dismiss them, to rule them out of the buyer's evaluation. Next up are customer stories. You always want to have customer stories at the ready. You don't need many. It's better to have one or two really powerful stories than too many. And so you just need one or two that says, yes, that reminds me of blank customer that used that alternative, but here are the challenges that they faced, and here's why they transitioned over to our product. And here are the results and the difference, that sort of transformation that they've gone through since transitioning to our product. Then objections and questions. So there will be common objections specific to different products in your market. And so you want to be able to handle those objections effectively, but then also pose questions back to the prospective buyer that illuminate the gap in their offering in comparison to yours. And so, for example, let's say security was really important for a buyer, and you knew that a competitor did not have a SOC 2 attestation for security. You might say, well, is SOC 2 not important to you for the vendor that you choose? And this would, in their mind, have them answer, no, it actually is important, and they've already previously expressed that, as you've known. And so then that would rule the competitor out. So these are questions that put the competitor in a difficult competitive position. And then lastly, if the competitor gets deep into the evaluation with you, and so it's a qualified opportunity, your sales reps are deeply engaged with them, it will often come down to a very nuanced evaluation, how their features compare to yours. And so you want to arm your team with a very clear understanding of how the different features in a nuanced basis differ from the competition. So you often don't need to get into that level of detail, but you want to have that information readily available for your team. All right, so how do you implement this battle card? First is conduct research and gather competitive intelligence. You can do that just from going to websites, going on YouTube, looking at third-party research. Then you want to populate the sales battle card for your market. So take the time to fill it out, gather feedback from the team, your management, even your executive team. You can sort of crowdsource this information within your organization. Number 3, then you want to train your sales team on how to use the battle card. So you'll teach them and you'll ask them to study the information within the battle card so that they can actually use it and apply it live on sales calls and in their written communication for follow-up. Number 4, listen to actual sales calls after training. Now, I recommend Gong. You will find that this is a very easy, straightforward way to be able to record calls, listen back to them. And then number 5 is to provide coaching on how to improve. So lastly, you want to measure these metrics on how your team is actually performing based on this new process that you've implemented. So measure MQL to SQL conversion rate, SQL to closed won conversion rate, and then the reasons for wins and losses. And these are valuable for your team, but also product and engineering teams to continue to iterate and improve the product to meet your customers' needs. All right, everyone, that's all I've got for you today. If you want to use this template to start training your sales team to beat the competition more consistently and convert your existing opportunities into closed won customers, then just click add to cart. When you check out, I will immediately email you a link to download the Excel spreadsheet. Lastly, if you got any value out of today's video, subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications. I publish one template a month with a video like this to provide additional context and training on how to best leverage these growth frameworks and templates for your SaaS business. Thanks so much for your support. I'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.